Hey guys, esteemed bank robber from the criminally underrated yet also kind of not that great movie Hancock, with my opinions on what's been happening in the couple of patches that are going to be happening soon.
What is happening?
So this is weird. This is also really good. I don't understand what to do with my hands right now. Okay, so again, this is the second part of the patch that's coming up. And yeah, it is almost objectively good. There are a couple of things that were not even bad, they're just sort of useless, but they are sort of on a roll here. First up is Deathslinger, who a lot of people have a very big issue with. Not because he's OP or anything, he's actually, in terms of map control, not that great. But the problem is the counterplay. It basically consists of just running in a straight line and hoping that there's something in the way, because you can't reaction dodge his shots or anything like that. You can't even reaction, like, he can aim and shoot faster than a human being can react. So it was just basically you guessing when he was going to shoot, and it was kind of stupid. Again, that's not to say he was overpowered or anything like that, but the actual gameplay was just stupid on both sides. How many times have you seen a clip of like Zubat just going like bang, 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 and just like not shooting ever, and they keep juking, and then eventually he just shoots it. It's just stupid. So basically what they're doing now is you have to fully aim down the sights before you can actually shoot. So you'll still be able to like do that quickly, but you kind of like from what the description says, you'll pretty much be able to channel that to the full extent, and then once it's been held for, we need to see exactly what the time is. I'm guessing it's still going to be way faster than Huntress, because he obviously needs an upside to Huntress because he doesn't have the range that Huntress does. So it's still going to be faster, but it'll at least be within the realm of human reaction time now, which I think is a good thing. And additionally, there will be a bit more of a cooldown before he can swing after he pulls it back down. So he doesn't have that scenario that they described in here where basically, when a survivor gets to a window, you just ready it. If they shoot it, or if they vault it, then you shoot and you hit them through the window. And if they don't vault, then you just cancel it and M1 them. So now they'll have a bit more time to maybe like bait you. So maybe something you can do against a Deathslinger now is get to a window and then fake like you're running away so he cancels, and then vault it. I could do a medium vault and he might not be able to swing in time. So in theory, this all sounds good to address the boring part about Deathslinger, but we really need to see the values that actually are going to be put into the game, because those are really going to determine what the actual counterplay is going to be. Now, to compensate for that nerf, they're making it so you're slowed down a lot less while you're actually aiming down the sights. So you can still, have way more than Huntress, where, when Huntress is having her hatchet out and charging, she moves really slow. But Deathslinger, I'm assuming, is going to move almost his normal movement speed now, because he already moved significantly faster than Huntress. So I'm assuming he's going to move close to his normal movement speed. So it's just going to give the survivors some indication that, hey, he might actually be shooting now, rather than, oh, he might shoot, oh, he might shoot, and he might shoot, and he might shoot, he might shoot. Like, there's just like, there was no skill involved with that other than just the Deathslinger having good aim, which is a skill, but it didn't give a shit about the survivor skill. So that was the annoying part. Additionally, probably my favorite change is they increase his tear radius to a normal tear radius. No one knows why the fuck this guy could have a 16-meter tear radius with monitor and abuse with no lullaby. He was literally a better stealth killer than Myers. It made no sense, because you could shoot somebody outside of your terror radius, and it just made no sense why he was so good at stealth. So they gave him a normal terror radius, but he still doesn't have a lullaby. So if you have monitor and abuse, you can still have a 24-meter terror radius, which is still decently small. It just means the survivors will have literally 1 second to react to a heartbeat before they can actually see you now. So I'm very happy about these Deathslinger changes. I thought he was the pinnacle of just boring killer design. I would have liked to see them give some type of thing to improve his map control in some way. Not really sure what you can do, though, other than just simply increasing the range of his actual chain. But it says they've changed some of his add-ons, so maybe there'll be something involving that. But other than that, I'm really, really happy what they did with Deathslinger. He was just a really bad design and made for just really uninteresting gameplay on both sides. So this should improve that a lot. It will make him slightly weaker, which, it's not like he needed to be weaker, but, Old Legion didn't need to be it didn't need to be weaker, but it was still a problem, I think, with the game that needed to be addressed, and they did address it. So that's really, really good. Plague getting love. I haven't fully read this part, so let's actually read this part together. First, we looked at infected objects. Previously, in interacting with something that would cause your infection to increase faster, we're adding an additional penalty to interacting with something that's currently infected, meaning your infection will increase even faster than before. Okay, so now more of an incentive to set things up like, use your power on pallets, windows, generators, things like that. Additionally, we've increased the base duration, infection duration on objects like generators from 35 to 40 seconds. It's pretty minor. These changes will make infecting objects feel much more impactful. Yeah, it's 5 seconds. It's not. I guess they're referring to the entire package there, so that's fair. Next, we turn to Revile Purge. The plague takes a massive hit to her movement speed when she's on cooldown. True. We've increased her movement speed from 2.3 to 3.6. That is a hell of an increase. This will cause her to lose far less ground when she does so. That is really actually scary because she can sort of back rev you like a hillbilly now. Because after she uses all of her purge, she's still going to be pretty damn close to you to just whack you. So, yeah, getting caught in the open against Plague is even more scary now. And even just her peppering you with a little bit during loops seems less punishing now because she'll actually not lose that much distance in the loop. So, that's a hell of a speed increase. That's really, really good. I think Plague actually kind of needed that. One of the things that felt really bad for the killers was when you let go of your power button a little too soon, causing your power to be canceled entirely. Yeah, it's mostly a user error thing, but now tapping the button or letting go before the minimum threshold will cause your power to continue charging until the minimum has been reached. Okay, so there's, yes, I was about to say it works like 100 satchel now. So that's, you can't just go like, hey, and just like nothing happens. It's going to cause you to charge it to the minimum value, which, again, in the hands of a Plague that knows how to play, it's not going to do anything, but it'll help with new players, so I'm okay with that. Finally, we've increased the time it takes to cleanse in a fountain from 6 to 8 seconds. Just net buff, not super huge, but it's a net buff for Plague. Like other killers that are changing this update, we revisited the Plague's add-ons as well and did a complete pass on some of the less powerful or rarely used ones. So this one's interesting. It's a brown add-on that sort of changes how Plague plays. So basically this removes the whole back revving potential that she has and makes her more of a map control killer. So basically it doubles the duration that your Plague lasts on objects. So if you shoot it on a generator, it'll last for 80 seconds now, basically the time it takes to do a full generator, and increases the rate at which you gain infection by double as well. So basically, you don't have that ability to down people out in the open anymore, but you will constantly have people more sick more frequently just if you just put your purge all over the map. So it's an interesting change in playstyle, and I love add-ons that do that. Add-ons that are not just like, hey, you do this 20% better. I like add-ons that are like, hey, this completely changes the way you play the killer. I think that's really cool, and I would love to see more of those types of add-ons. That's what we've been asking for a while. That's a really cool add-on design, not just hillbilly charges chainsaw 20% faster. It's like, that's not interesting. That is interesting. So I really like that. This is useless. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking here. Survivors who cleanse a fountain have their auras revealed for 4 seconds. You already see the fountain aura when they cleanse. You already know where they are. It's completely useless. Survivor add-ons, items, and updates. I jumbled that. That is okay. We've updated the descriptions of item add-ons in the update as well, like we done for killers, each survivor. So basically, they're just getting, instead of considerably, moderately, they're getting percent values and things like that. And also, they will show you what status effects that they apply actually do. So that's nice. Next, we have some more perk updates. Windows Opportunity, I believe, just has no cooldown at all anymore. That is more than welcome. I don't know why it had a cooldown. It's not good enough to even justify using without a cooldown, so that's good. Repressed Alliance, it can now be activated sooner to 45 seconds, so that is a pretty sizable buff. Built to Last has been sort of reworked, which is pretty interesting. So now you hide in a locker for 12 seconds, and it fully recharges your item. And you can do this 3 times, and every time you do it, it heals a third less of the item. So basically, you'll be able to get a shit ton of item usage, but now there is the trade-off that you have to do nothing in a locker for 12 seconds, which is actually a really cool trade-off. Do you want more item value? Okay, I'll trade your time on a generator for it, and that might be good or bad. If you have a really nice medkit, fully recharging that shit is actually very, very worth the 12 seconds it takes to actually do that. You might even have some people combine this with inner strength or head-on perks that reward you for staying in lockers, things like that. So that's actually a very good change, I think, and it's actually going to make Built to Last very, very strong. It's going to allow you to fully recharge your items almost twice. So that's actually that's kind of nuts now that I think about it. I'm actually really scared of that with big medkits. but there is the upside now for killer where they have to sit in a locker for 12 seconds and not do anything. But a purple medkit gets like 3 or 4 uses with good add-ons, which is well worth the 12 seconds. So it's an interesting trade-off. I really actually like that a lot. Any means necessary now reveals the aura of all dropped pallets, so you can know which ones you need to actually use it on. Just an objectively good change. Even No Mather's getting some updates where the grunts of pain, so you almost have full iron will now. It used to be at 50%, now it goes up to 75%. And also you have the unbreakable effect as well when you're in the dying state. So that plus unbreakable, and you will get up really fast. That being said, no one's going to slug you in No Mither. I really wish they made it so No Mither was not revealed to the killer until they were downed or injured once. Then you can tell that they have it. But still, I think that is it's a good buff. It's a buff that on a perk that needs a buff. So additionally, Mindbreaker and Fearmonger, well, they're the same perk. They're just changing because of the license. But it now will grant blindness as well, in addition to exhaustion. I can't imagine how useful that will be. The only time I can see that being useful is like you have a teammate on a hook or something like that. Killer comes, you run away from the generator. Now you're blinded for a couple seconds. I don't know. The blindness doesn't seem that useful. If it was like Oblivious or something like that, that'd be nuts. But blindness is meh. It's not going to do that much because it expires very quickly. The exhaustion one's really important because if a killer, comes at you while you're working on a generator and you try to run away, well, your exhaustion's not going away when you're running, so that's what makes Mindbreaker actually useful. But the blindness is just going to go away in 5 seconds and doesn't really do anything, so that one's kind of whatever. Even the fucking hatch is getting changed. I have not read this part. I'm excited. The hatch and keys by extension have long been very contentious topics, leading to some heated debates. We have some changes incoming to make them a little fairer. First, the hatch will no longer spawn if there's more than one survivor left in the trial. So that means that whole, there's one gen left, you have one guy dead, and then you have a 3 key escape. That's just not going to happen anymore. Additionally, the hatch will take a few seconds to open with a key once it's closed. It's the perfect solution. That's what I've been saying for a long time. I'm so glad that they went in that direction. Progress does not reset when the survivor cancels the interaction. That's okay. This eliminates a problem where a survivor can simply sprint straight to the hatch and instantly open and escape. With that said, these changes will make the Where Do They Go achievement impossible to obtain, so it will be changed to escape to the hatch using a key. Also good. Wow. Perfect. Just perfect. What game company patch am I reading? Boon totems. As promised in the Anniversary Live broadcast, we're introducing some new gameplay around totems. These will add an extra objective around the map, much like Killer Hex totems, and tied to Survivor perks. Survivors will be able to bless a totem and change it to a Boon totem, and these blessings are designed to offer comfort to the Survivor team as a small safe haven. This was a lot of people have been guessing it was going to be. Basically, like small AoE buffs in the area of that totem, which I think is the best way to do it. If it was map wide, I think that would be a problem. However, unlike a Hex totem, the killer can also quickly interact with it. They can just basically stomp it and destroy it immediately, turning into a dull totem again. They will also be able to hear the Boon totem when it's in range. So, kind of like how you can hear a Hex totem, it sounds like it's a burning fire. I'm sure the Boon totem will have like a or like a nice, pleasant sound effect to it. Each survivor can only have one Boon totem active at a time. The Boon totem will combine the effects of all of their equipped Boon perks. So that's an interesting thing. You can actually, somewhere down the line, 2 years from now, when there's 4 Boon totem perks, have all of them tied to one perk and have like a god AoE setup. So it's going to be really weird and interesting to see what the actual totems do. We don't actually know what they do yet, so this is, it's all speculation, but it seems like the way they're handling it is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like the killer loads into a match, a survivor's got a Boon totem that makes him do gens 20% faster, the killer's got to go break it. Seems like that's not going to be the case anymore. Seems like it's going to be if they have they're in a 3 gen and there's a totem in the area, they can make that a Boon totem that helps them with the 3 gen or something like that. So it's going to be not as bad as I thought. So I'm less worried about that than I used to be, but man, this is just excellent. This is probably the best mid-chapter patch they have ever done in the history of this game. I like to think, I know this is probably not entirely true, but I like to think McLean was like, all right, you all motherfuckers want to see a patch, and then he did it, and he just fucking ascended into the heavens, and then that was the end. But, look, I will be absolutely frank here. I shit on this game a lot because, frankly, it deserves it a lot. But I'm also not going to not praise it when they do things extremely well. And this is extremely good. This is I think objectively the best mid-chapter patch they have ever done. I am extremely happy with it. Now I know it's not in the game yet, and there's a little part of me that's still hesitant going, well, okay, what's this going to break? Is this actually going to work? But assuming all this works as intended, this is exceptional work. And if they continue with these types of patches that actually change more than one thing every 3 months, DBD is not going anywhere for a very long time. But we'll see if that was just the last breath of McLean or this is actually something that they're going to be doing stepping forward. But strangely optimistic about the game. This was extremely good. Well done to the devs. I'm very happy with everything they did. What the fuck?